and welcome back to the channel again. So I'm going to be doing another trade breakdown on the Euro US dollar. I actually took this on Wednesday, so I believe that would have been, when would have that been? Would have been the 19th of April I took that trade. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So starting with the DXY, a bit of a funny week this week, because I was actually anticipating a bearish closed week on the DXY, bearish sort of expansion to sweep these relatively equal lows. That was my narrative for the week for the DXY. Obviously here we had this, because this candle's wick overshoots this candle's body. This is from last week's candle on the DXY. That's actually a redelivered rebalance. So I anticipated, the early, at the start of the week, we would get that kind of Judas swing into this redelivered rebalance on the weekly DXY, pricing in the high of the week early before then expanding to the downside, targeting these relatively equal lows / previous week's lows. And obviously similar thing on the euro as well. These are, I won't even really call these relatively equal, but again, I was still anticipating this previous week's high to get swept. We've also got this huge volume imbalance on the weekly for the euro, so that was also another kind of draw on price. But again, it was more DXY. Obviously we've got these relatively equal lows. DXY is king. That's, wherever the DXY is going, EU will follow. So that's it for the weekly. Okay, so daily, I bar replayed this just so so we're not looking at Thursday and Friday's price action. So Monday, as anticipated, we traded higher. We filled in this daily fair value gap here. Okay, in fact we swept the previous day's high on Friday from last week into that into this fair value gap, which is like the Judas swing for the week. And then we've got this bearish candle here. This is also OTE, I believe, of this price range on the daily. And as you can see as well, if I just remove these fair value gap lines, we've also got this premium daily order block, which resides just at OTE. Obviously Tuesday we've rejected off of there. So I was anticipating the rest of the week to trade bearish towards my drawn liquidity. I was going to be hunting for shorts after seeing Tuesday's candle close bearish. Similar scenario with EU, of course. Obviously we had OTE. It's all inversely correlated, and then these two down close candles before the bullish displacement. Sorry, that is a daily order block. That would be a discount daily order block that resides at OTE. Obviously we've rejected off of there. At this point I did anticipate the low of the week to get priced in, which it had done, although I was favouring higher prices for EU throughout the duration of the week, which we actually didn't get. If I just replay it, we kind of just consolidated for the remainder of the week, which was a bit sad to see because I thought that was quite a clear narrative. And let me just change this to premium discount. Okay, so back onto the DXY, I'll change this to premium discount. 4 hour. Okay, not much going on. It's more on the 15-minute if we have a look. So obviously this is Tuesday's trading, Monday's trading. I was anticipating Wednesday to trade just lower on the DXY. I kind of wanted to see maybe like a Judas swing and then displacement to the downside, but Instead, we had this midday reversal market maker sell model on the DXY. So price traded higher back into kind of Tuesday's trading. And as you can see, market maker sell model, we've got this kind of, this would be the initial consolidation. Let me remove that. Initial consolidation, and then we've had a leg up, retracement down, leg up again, and then we've had our market short shift, or in this case smart money reversal, as it's relevant to the market maker sell model. So we had that on the DXY. That was clear as day to me. Was it in a logical, was the smart money reversal in a logical area? Yeah, I'd say so, because obviously we've tapped into this, we're back into the daily order block again. It swept liquidity. It didn't quite sweep Monday's high. However, it did, we've got these two highs here, these two candles, they're kind of equal highs. It swept them, it swept the liquidity above this high. So liquidity was swept, especially this high here and this high there, that they're equal highs. Would have been more favourable if it swept the previous day's high, as it's a bit more of a significant liquidity pool as opposed to just these mini highs here. But nonetheless, liquidity was swept and the SMR was into an array. So those are the two things I'd look for. We've then had that displacement, which is also key as well. I like to see the market shift, or in this case, the smart money reversal with displacement, because that shows intent. Let me just remove these. That shows intent of lower prices, and we've got this right here that is a breaker block that we didn't quite trade into on the DXY, but nonetheless, this was a good midday reversal. It sort of occurred, at the start of beginning of New York. So I was favouring lower prices during New York, and again, this inversely correlates to the euro. So we'll go on euro 15 minute. Okay, let me just, in fact, I'll keep that on. So again, euro USD, we've got the same sort of phenomenon. Initial consolidation, drive down retracement, another drive down retracement, and then we've got the smart money reversal here. Occurred in a more logical area for EU, as this actually did just sweep the previous day's low. So you can see here that retail breakout artists or traders, they would have looked to have sold when price sort of broke this previous day's low. Obviously they believe in strength and weakness. They think that when price trades past the previous day's low, in this case, it will continue the move, and smart money will essentially pair their long positions with their shorts and make them the counterparty. So EU again, we've had this breaker block, which I did have my eyes on. It did actually quite just miss it. I got my entry though. I market executed sort of within this fair value gap here. I think was it consequent encroachment? No, it wasn't quite consequent encroachment, but I literally market executed around here with my stop going there, and no, my stop was here. I only I think I only shot for 1R on this one. I did actually I was anticipating this previous day's high to maybe get swept, and also there was another previous day's high, so there was quite a lot of sell side liquidity targets again on the DXY. We had this previous day's low as well. I was sort of favouring, and maybe this one. However, the only thing that I didn't quite like with this trade was here we had equal highs pretty much So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's why I was saying it would have been more ideal if DXY swept this previous day's high here, because then there's less chance that the algorithm might, favor to take that previous day's high, since it is already trading quite close to it. But nonetheless, it was an easy 1R. I probably could have, had a tight stop loss, as this here was a balanced price range. Sorry, but I didn't want to be too greedy. And again, as always, TP'd at the next opposing array, being this order block. I think I let price shoot a bit more into this order block, which is where I TP'd. It was a good trade though. I mean, I could have gone for this high or that high, and then you've got this order block here, these 3 up close candles for the bearish displacement. That could have been a decent target. But however, it was just the only reason that pulled me off it was just these equal highs. When I frame a trade, I always like to have a super clear draw on liquidity. Like usually if there's sell side liquidity and buy side liquidity that the algorithm could target, it's a little bit 50-50, and essentially it does make it a gamble. If you see a trade set up, like at the minute on Euro at the minute, or in fact let's look at DXY. This is DXY at the minute. This is how I actually trade, by the way. I have 4 screens. I've got them daily, weekly, 4 hour, 15 minute. Obviously I don't do this for my trade breakdowns because I appreciate it's not to everyone's taste, but this is how I actually view the market. But you can see like where we're at now with the DXY. You see how there's lots of sell side liquidity and lots of buy side liquidity. Now if you was to try and frame a trade somewhere within the middle of all of this, it's literally just black or red, and it is a gamble. You want one side of liquidity to be favored more than the other, hence why I kind of just I kind of did pussy out a bit, and I just closed the trade at this next opposing rate, and I took my 1%. I only made 1% this week on EU. As I've said before, I wanted EU to trade higher and DXY to trade lower, but unfortunately it kind of just after Wednesday we just got stuck in this range, so hopefully next week might be a bit more favourable. But that's it for this week's of trading. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next